Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that intro! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. The summer of superheroes concludes, and on this episode, I'm going to celebrate a birthday. And whose birthday? Marvel's 82nd birthday. In 1939, Martin Goodman had decided to form a comic book company that would rival DC. The name of the company at the time was Timely Comics. And their first book that was ever published was Marvel Comics #1. Two of the first characters that Marvel ever came out with were Namor the Submariner and the Jim Hammond Human Torch. Now, 2 years after Timely Comics was formed, Joe Simon and Jack Kirby created Captain America. And then it became Atlas Comics. And then less than 20 years later, the company finally becomes Marvel Comics. And then Stan Lee and Jack Kirby decided to join forces and create the Fantastic Four and create the Marvel Universe as we know it today. And not only did they create the Fantastic Four, they would also go on to create characters like the Incredible Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, the Avengers, and Black Panther. Oh, and also those Merry Mutants, the X-Men. Now, they've been around for 82 years, and they've had their ups and downs. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, at one point they even went bankrupt, but then they got out of that adversity really quickly, and they went from being just a comic book company to being an animation company, and now a multimedia company. And happy birthday, Marvel! And kudos to all the writers and artists throughout the years that have worked there, and also their families. Marvel is one of two publications that I love the most. The other one is being DC, and Marvel, just has that it factor. And here's to another 82 years. Now, this is a Marvel Comic Hero tee. Inside the speech bubble, you have the Marvel logo, and then here on the left sleeve, this is my favorite Marvel Comics logo out of all of them. This is the one I grew up with. And then here on the right sleeve is the date of when Marvel got started, August 31st, 1939. Now, I know it's been 2 days since that day, but there are folks that honestly don't wait to celebrate their birthdays until like a few days later. I mean, they have a party and all the fixings, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. And if you would like a shirt just like this one, you can find it on my website, IamTheComicHero.com, for $19. And speaking of t-shirts, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, on the last episode, I asked, which Fantastic Four villain possesses alchemy? Well, the correct answer is the Diablo. And 5 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their name's been entered in a drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Comic Chat Authority. This is someone who answered on Instagram. So congratulations, Comic Chat Authority. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Marvel question. Marvel was originally called Timely Comics and Atlas Comics before finally becoming Marvel Comics. What year did it become Marvel Comics? Now here's some hints. The first hint is that Stan Lee and Jack Kirby create the Fantastic Four in the same year. Second hint, the Berlin Wall was built to separate Germany in the same year. And then the third and final hint, President John F. Kennedy established the Peace Corps in this year. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in the drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Alright, now Adam Reed from Baton Rouge, Louisiana has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one features the strongest areas going up against an upgraded version of the Sentinels. Representing Marvel, we have the Hulk, and also representing Marvel, we have Nimrod. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Hulk versus Nimrod. Hulk possesses invulnerability, superhuman strength, speed, stamina and durability, anger empowerment, and regeneration. Nimrod possesses superhuman strength, durability and regeneration, energy projection, computer interfacing, shapeshifting, and teleportation. Who will win? This fight's going to blow everyone's minds from start to finish. Hulk would take several swings at Nimrod, but the result never changes. Nimrod would teleport behind Hulk and deliver cheap shots each time. At one point, Nimrod will allow Hulk to land a hit, but then shapeshifts into Betty Ross. Hulk utters, "Hulk, sorry, Betty." Then Nimrod delivers a punch that sends Hulk flying. Meanwhile, inside Hulk's head, Bruce Banner and Hulk are fighting for control. Banner would yell, "Hulk, stop! In order to defeat Nimrod, we have to..." Then Hulk cuts them off by yelling, "No Banner, only Hulk!" Banner angrily replies, "Will you shut up and let me finish, you idiot? I was saying that in order to defeat Nimrod, we have to work together. We have to become Professor Hulk." Hulk then reluctantly agrees and says, "Fine." Meanwhile, just as Nimrod is about to finish Hulk off, Hulk suddenly becomes Professor Hulk. The latter quickly calculates the distance between where they are and Antarctica. Confused? I'll explain in a minute. Professor Hulk would throw a punch at Nimrod, but the latter teleports behind him. Somehow the former knew this and quickly delivers a punch so hard that he knocks a hole straight through Nimrod's torso. Before Nimrod can have the opportunity to regenerate, Professor Hulk throws him so hard and far that he ends up in the middle of Antarctica. Now back to what I was talking about. One of Nimrod's weaknesses is cold weather. This is exactly why Banner persuaded Hulk to work together. Brute force would have been able to stop Nimrod alone. Professor Hulk wins. And that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Hulk! Smash!
Thank you, Adam Reed, for that fight. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll have another one for next week. And if you want to request a fight, go ahead and do so. I have a long list of fights that are still coming in, but I will definitely accept more. Now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! All right, before I go on, I just want to say that because this is Marvel's 82nd birthday, every segment on here except one is going to be all Marvel. The only segment that's not going to be all Marvel is Comic Books I Bought This Week, where it's going to have both DC and Marvel books. So if you're not getting the trend, well, there you go. All right, now the only thing I'm going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, that's Marvel related, is that there are new Marvel books that are slated to come out beginning in December. Now the first one is Devil's Reign. It's a Daredevil event, and it's going to be written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Marco Cicchetto. Now, honestly, I've been out of the loop when it comes to Daredevil. I haven't read Daredevil in a very long time. I really haven't read Daredevil since the Shadowland story arc back in the early 2010s, with all the stuff that's going on in Daredevil, with Matt Murdock being MIA and Elektra taking up the mantle, and then Wilson Fisk being mayor of New York, I kind of want to do that. So I think I'm going to be all in for this this Daredevil event. So definitely, I'm definitely going to buy Devil's Reign. All right, the second one is Avengers Forever, which is going to be written by Jason Aaron with art by Aaron Cooter. And y'all know me. I love a good Avengers story. I've been reading the Avengers ever since, really ever since I got into college. Really, I mean, one of my favorite story arcs is one of my favorite runs on there is the Kurt Busiek, George Perez run that really got me into reading it in the first place. And Jason Aaron has really been doing wonders with the Avengers ever since he took over in 2018, and I guess the beat continues to go on. So, yeah. All right, now, and then the last book that comes out in December is Timeless by Jed MacKay, Kev Walker. I mean, it's written by Jed MacKay with art by Kev Walker, Joe Bennett, and Mark Bagley. Now, this is a Kang the Conqueror event. Of course, Kang, he's pretty much like the villain that goes and messes with time. And at one point, he's also a young Avenger. And, of course, I'm talking about Iron Lad. And I think I might read this one, too. All right, and the first one that comes out in December are both the X Lives of Wolverine and the X Deaths of Wolverine. I guess that's the 10 Lives of Wolverine and 10 Deaths of Wolverine, I guess. But it's going to be written by Wolverine series writer Benjamin Percy with art by Josh Cassara and Federico Vicentini. And I really love Benjamin Percy's run on Wolverine, so I think I might read that myself. All right, and then the next book that comes out in January is the brand new She-Hulk series that's going to be written by Rainbow Rowell, Rainbow Rowell, with art by Roger Antonio. Now, in this one, She-Hulk finally, ever since she was almost killed by Thanos, she's finally taming the beast within, or so she thinks. And just when she's about to go back to practicing law, a friend needs help, and it's time for her to smash once again. All right, and then the next one, I'm really looking forward to this, is Fantastic Four: The Reckoning War. It is going to be written by Fantastic Four series writer Dan Slott with art by Carlos Pacheco and Rachel Stott. Now, I love Carlos Pacheco's run on Fantastic Four in the early 2000s when he and Jeff Loeb were on the book, and I'm so glad he's back. I mean, I love his artwork in just about anything he's done, whether it's in that X-Men or even one point when he was penciling Superman. I mean, Carlos Pacheco he's probably one of my top 10 favorite artists, and I can't wait to read this miniseries. All right, and then the last one, and this is the one that's really getting a lot of buzz. There's going to be a new Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur series, and it's coming in just in time for the new Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur animated series that's coming to Disney Plus in February. Now, Marvel is being, for now, tight-lipped about who's writing and who's doing the artwork. Although there's been speculation that Lawrence Fishburne may end up doing the writing. I mean, of course, if Marvel's being tight-lipped about it, you know that it's going to be a must-read. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to just about all these books. I'm definitely all in on all of them. Even Devil's Reign. I mean, Marvel is really starting to come together in terms of the comics division. I mean, now for those of y'all that have been with me for really since the beginning, y'all know how hard I can be on Marvel, despite the fact that I read books from that publication. But you know, to me, I am to Marvel just as a parent is to a child. I say this stuff, and I verbally chastise them, is because I want them to get better. And now I finally have praise for them. So go get a Marvel. I'm definitely going to read all these books. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Alright, first up is Action Comics number 1034. The Amazing Spider-Man number 72. Avengers Annual number 1. Cable Reloaded. Detective Comics number 1042. Extreme Carnage Riot. Non-Stop Spider-Man number 4. Robin number 5. Superman Son of Kal-El number 2. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 120. Thor number 16. The United States of Captain America number 3. Wolverine number 15. And finally, Wonder Woman number 778. Alright, that's 14, which brings the total number of comics that I've bought since December of 1997 to 10,872. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. Here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. Marvel was originally called Timely Comics and Atlas Comics before eventually becoming Marvel Comics. What year did it become Marvel Comics? Now here are the hints again. The first hint is that the Berlin Wall was built in this year. The second hint, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby released the first issue of Fantastic Four in this year. And then the third and final hint, President John F. Kennedy established a Peace Corps in this year. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Comic Chat Authority who won a free tee on this week's episode. Alright, I really had a lot of fun doing Summer of Superheroes. This is the third one. Can't wait to do the one next year. There are going to be quite a few anniversaries, two of which are going to be Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk. It'll be their 60th anniversary next year. And also I found out that it's also going to be Luke Cage's 50th anniversary. He made his debut in 1972. And I think I may make a comic hero tee for him. So yeah. So next year, Summer of Superheroes is going to be lit. All right. First off, I want to take this time out to thank my good friend Martin Perez, who is the founder of Down South Collectors Crew, which is a group that on Instagram that I just became a member of. I want to thank you for the stickers and the magnets and everything that's to come, and thank you for all the love that you and just about all the other members have shown to me in the past 2 weeks. That's what it's all about. It's all about supporting each other and helping each other grow. Jealousy is such a such a common and awful thing in this world. I mean, there are just some people who don't want others to succeed, but that's no way to live. Because if you help someone grow, then you'll grow yourself. So get rid of all the jealousy and start showing some support. All right, I'm Victor Nolly. I'm the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 370. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and happy birthday, Marvel!